So we are going to do an independent study for the fourth quarter, and it's going to get complicated and messy, and hopefully we will muddle our way through it, but I think that this is really the best way to let you guys really express yourselves. So, independent study. Here's how we're going to start. Our overview is this. For the fourth quarter, you will be designing your own curriculum of study based on a topic of your choice. It must conform to the standards expected of this course. Okay, so for example, this is a literature course. This is a course in contemporary literature. So somehow it has to cover literature that is been written or created within the last plus or minus 20 years, maybe a little more. Okay? 2, it must revolve around a text or a series of texts that are contemporary, meaning produced within the last 20 or so years. 3, you must write a proposal and a rationale that is approved by the teacher before beginning the study. That's what you're doing today and tomorrow. I'm giving you 2 days. 4, you must be responsible enough to pace yourself and complete regular assignments. We will talk about pacing and meeting with me and all those other things later. And finally, your independent study must contain at least 4 of the 6 components as outlined in the next slide. So I'm giving you some element of choice here. So here are the required components. Your independent study has to have at least 4 of these. A reading component, whereby you read stuff. A listening component, whereby you listen to something. A viewing component, whereby you watch something. Okay, these are all ways that you will inhale information. Think of this as breathing in and breathing out. When we inhale, we take air in, okay? And then when we exhale, we have air removed from our bodies. So, writing, speaking, representing. Those are the 3 ways that you can exhale information. So you must complete at least 4 of these 6 components over the course of this independent study. So here are some examples of possible reading components. Okay, we're going to go over the 6 components today. You can read a novel, memoir, or nonfiction work. You can read several short works from the same author about the same topic or about the same theme. You can read a graphic novel or several comic books. You can read several articles about the same topic. You can read source materials that will help you develop your understanding of your topic. Okay, these are just possibilities. This is not an exhaustive or all-inclusive list. Okay, so read things. Possible listening components would be listening to a podcast, listening to an audiobook, listening to music, listening to playlists that center around a theme or around a topic. They could be music playlists, podcast playlists, whatever. Listen to a speech. Again, there are more possibilities, but these are just some examples. Possible viewing components. So this is the last way you can inhale information. Possible viewing. You could watch a series of TED Talks or other informational videos. You could watch a series of educational videos on YouTube. You could watch a documentary film. A documentary is something that documents stuff that actually happened. You could watch a movie. Watch an episode of a TV series. View artworks or an art exhibit. Study the illustrations in a book. View photographs. These are all things that you can do that are viewing. Some possible writing components. You know what? Back up. I screwed up. When we talk about reading, listening, viewing, those are actually all inhale. Okay? Somebody came to my door while I was recording and interrupted me and confused me. So these are all inhale. These are all how we obtain information. Okay? This is how we get the information. The last 3, again, writing, speaking, representing, are all exhale. This is how we get the information back out of us. So some possible writing components could be taking notes, which you will be doing. Writing regular reflections on your progress. writing an analysis of a topic or a text, writing a poem or a piece of short fiction, rewrite a familiar story from a different point of view or in an updated context. Like if you rewrote the story of Snow White, but in, with zombies in 2021. Review something that you have read, watched, or listened to. Write a song, a play, or a script. Okay, these are all possible writing components. Possible speaking components would be having a conference with the teacher, which you will be doing. You're going to be setting up video conferences with me. Record a podcast. You can record a presentation like I'm doing right now. Make a video that pairs images with a voice-over or narrator. Record a TED Talk style speech. Create spoken word poetry. Record it. Record an original piece of music. Okay, again, these are all just possible speaking components. There are other things could be done. All you need to do is just suggest them. Finally, the last way you can exhale that information back out of your brain is to do a representing component. So you can create an infographic, like some kind of a chart, for example. Create sketch notes. That's where, when you take notes, you draw pictures in your notes. A lot of people remember things better when they draw. So if you add pictures to your notes, that's called sketchnoting. Create a photo series or photo essay that centers on a topic or theme. Create a short film. Create a blog. Create an artwork that focuses on a particular topic or theme. Create a comic book or a graphic novel. Okay, these are all just suggestions. There are, I'm sure, other things you could do that would be a representation component. So here are your next steps. You're going to have 2 days to work to complete your proposal and rationale, and I'm going to show you those in a minute. So you're going to have to say, okay, this is what I want to study, this is what I want to do with it, or this is what I think I want to do with it, etc., okay? The teacher is going to review your proposal and give you feedback. So I will take a look at your proposal, have it done when it is due so I can do it on time. Otherwise, when the day comes for you to revise your proposal, you won't be able to do it because you didn't get it to me on time. And I am not going to, if you turn something into me late and then you're like, look at it, it's just going to make me want to look at it less and later, okay? If you want me to give you feedback on time, it's very important that you submit things on time. You will revise your proposal until it gets final approval from me. And once your proposal has been approved, you can begin your project. So I want you to think of this project as a living document. Okay, a living document is something that we can constantly revisit and revise and redo and change as necessary. So over time, things can be changed. We can adjust things. Just because you plan something over the next 2 days, okay, just because at the outset this was what you were going to do, doesn't mean you can't make changes somewhere between the beginning and the end. I am sure that you will come up with new ideas as time goes on. I am sure that you will decide there are things you no longer want to do. Maybe you're going to decide there's a different direction you want to go in than you originally planned. All of those are natural parts of a learning process, and they are all things that I encourage. So when we look at today's assignment, which is, if I can get this thing to exit, which is your proposal, I want you, again, keep in mind, this is where we're starting. It may not be where we end up in May, but it's where we're starting. So the first half of this is just a proposal and rationale. Okay, a rationale is where you give the reasons why you need to or should be doing something in a particular way. Your logic. So first tell me what your topic of study is going to be. What do you want to study? What do you want to read about? Keep in mind that this has to be something related to contemporary literature. I'll give you an example. When I surveyed people earlier in the week, I had a student who said that they wanted to study pirates. And I'm like, okay, well, there are modern day pirates, but what do pirates have to do with contemporary literature? Let's think about this. You can't just do the history of pirates. It's not really within the course outline. So I suggested, how about if you take a look at how pirates are portrayed in contemporary popular culture, like movies or comics or manga or books, stuff like Pirates of the Caribbean, stuff like One Piece, okay? So that is how we can take his interest, his topic, and we can make that work with our course curriculum, which is that we are supposed to be studying contemporary literature, okay? So I want to know what you want to study. I want to know how you're going to relate that to contemporary literature. Why did you choose this topic? Okay, don't just tell me because I like it. Give me more information. Okay, I chose pirates because, yeah, I'm interested in pirates. When I was a little kid, I'd imagined I wanted to be a pirate when I grew up. And then when I watched the Goonies when I was a kid, it was like one of my mom's favorite movies. And she made me watch the Goonies. And I'm like, oh, look at its pirate treasure. Give me a story here, okay? Why do you care about this thing? Because if you can't give me a story about why this topic is fascinating to you, then it's not fascinating enough for you to study for the next 2 months. Don't torture yourself, okay? Come up with something you really, really can dig into. What will you know when you are done with this independent study? Maybe you're not 100% sure right now how to answer this question. I want you to answer it anyway. Do not say IDK. Do not say I'm not sure. Do not say I'll get there when I get there. Tell me what you think you will know. Okay, what is your objective? What will you be able to do when you're done with this independent study? Okay, if you want to learn more about like creating graphic novels, then maybe what you want to be able to do at the end of the study is you want to be able to create your own graphic novel. That's what you need to tell me. A graphic novel about pirates. Okay? What materials and texts will you read, listen to, view, or otherwise experience? So this is just going to be a jumping off point. What kinds of things do you want to read? What kind of books? What kind of websites? What kind of podcasts? What kind of music? What kind of videos? What kind of movies? Etc., etc. Be as specific as you can. Just give us a starting point. You have to have somewhere to start. What will you produce to periodically share your knowledge with the teacher? Okay, so what kinds of things can you create or do or write or conference about that you can, use to periodically? You're going to have to talk with me one-on-one a lot. Okay? What will your final product be? Your final product would be like at the end of all of this in May, what are you going to have that you can present to us? Is it going to be a movie? Is it going to be a book? Is it going to be a TED Talk? Like, what is it going to be? And finally, how will you know that you've been successful in your independent study? So I realize that these questions might seem kind of hard to answer right now, but one, that's why I'm giving you 2 days to do this. And 2, if they're not hard, you're not learning. Okay? Trust me, it'll pay off in the end. The second thing you're going to need to do is I need you to think about how specifically your project is going to align with our course objectives. Okay? These are the actual course objectives for Ohio Learning Standards language reading literature. Okay, these are the course objectives for reading literature for the state of Ohio. These are the standards that all teachers who teach in the state of Ohio have to cover. Okay, so I want you, there's, I think there's 10, no, there's 9 of these here. No, there's 8 because I did not include all of the standards. I want you to tell me how you think you can cover at least 4 of these standards in the course of this project. So for our purposes, this always says a work of literature or a text, a work of literature or a text. So for our purposes, a work of literature or text can be a book, a film, a piece of music. Anything that uses language to communicate an idea is a text. Okay? Anything that communicates an idea is a text. Consider it that way. So I want you to read through. There are 8 statements here of I can statements. These are state standards of things that you should be able to do by the time you are finished with a literature course. So I want you to read through those, choose 4 of them that you think you will be able to cover based on your ideas, and tell me how you think you can cover these standards. So for example, if we look at, this is Reading Literature 910.2. I can analyze literary text development. Put some vocabulary definitions here in case you're not sure what the words mean. This just means pick it apart and show how the parts work. I can determine a theme of a text and analyze in detail its development over the course of the text, including how it emerges and is shaped and refined by specific details. And I can provide a summary of the text that includes theme and relevant story elements. So let's go back to our pirate example, okay? Let's say that my pirate student is like, well, I'm going to watch Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, and I am going to be able to, first of all, summarize that movie. I'm going to be able to talk about the themes of that movie and how it covers pirates, how it portrays pirates. And I'm going to be able to tell you how it uses like characterization, how Johnny Depp's character, Jack Sparrow, how he chooses to characterize pirates from, I think it was the 19th century, 1800s. I think. Okay? So he's going to be able to write in here, okay, so I'm going to watch Pirates of the Caribbean, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be able to do all of these things because I'm going to be able to analyze that movie as a piece of literature, as a text. So again, I'm giving you 2 days to complete this assignment. I need it to be done when it is due so that I can give you adequate, timely feedback so that you can get your proposal okayed by me and you can get started and hit the ground running with your independent study for the 4th quarter. Okay? If you have any questions, please let me know and have a lovely rest of your day.